Sherwood tweets, is the new Avengers worth seeing in 3D? My guess is 2D would be just fine.
I am absolutely the wrong guy to ask because I don't believe any movie is worth seeing in 3D. AMC doesn't like it when I say that.
Cut his mic.
But I'm not a fan of 3D. I will always choose a 2D option over a 3D option. So I'm the wrong guy to ask. I will preclude myself from this discussion and let you guys take it. What do you think? You've both seen Avengers, so
I saw it in normal 2D. I think, what was it, like 3 weeks ago, right, guys?
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen it in 3D yet. But you know what? I'm one of those people who actually like seeing all these, big budget movies non-3D. But when I have seen some of the 3D ones, it's been fantastic and a lot of fun. I've seen also some really bad conversions, where you're like, oh, why is everything blurry? And I have a headache now.
Yeah.
So it depends on the studio and what they're doing. If they really, I thought Prometheus was really well done in 3D because they shot it in true 3D. So you say what you will about the film, but it looked incredible and it had this scope and 3D-ishness because it was shot in 3D. So that's what I'd say. If a movie's shot in 3D and they were like really going for it and the cameras were put in the right perspective and they're doing stuff that makes it worth seeing in 3D, then I'd say go see it in 3D.
I will say this, though. One of the very few movies, there are a couple movies I've not minded watching in 3D. Obviously, one is Avatar. I mean, that one was done so beautifully. Prometheus, even though I wasn't a fan of the movie, done very well. But one of the best examples of 3D I've ever seen was actually one that was post-converted to 3D, and it wasn't even that great of a movie, that Paul Bettany, Carl Urban film, Priest.
Yeah.
A couple years ago. But they literally spent, most 3D conversions would be about 3 months they'll take to do it. They literally spent like almost a year doing their they took their time with it. And then when you watch, it's like, this is actually pretty damn good 3D. So, but it's all about the amount of time and attention to detail.
The movie was poopy, though. It was like a bunch of dumb vampires. Carl Urban was good. I wish it was. I didn't see it in 3D.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have changed my mind if I saw it in 3D.
I didn't hate Priest, and I enjoyed it in 3D. I saw Gone with the Wind in 3D for 5 cents and a buffalo
How did
nickel.
you see Gone with the Wind in 3D, Marcus? Are you a magician?
I actually would say, yeah, I would see Avengers Age of Ultron in 3D. It's a fun event film. You got to do a little bit of scouting, though. You got to make sure that the glasses that the theater's going to provide for you aren't the really heavy ones. Make sure they're the cool, like, smaller ones so that it doesn't feel like you're wearing, like, dental headgear for 2.5 hours.
Explain the reason those heavy ones, it's basically the frames are flipping every half, it's flipping back and forth. That's why you have those heavy ones.
Yeah, but it still looks cool in 2D, and I would say the better investment for your dollar is going to be making sure you see it in like a AMC Prime or something like that, where you're in the best theater before you worry about visually if it's going to be 2D or 3D. Make sure you're in like an IMAX or IMAX kind of like experience before you go into the visuals.